Everybody, this is Jim at SP500chart.com. It's Sunday afternoon, a little bit after 5 o'clock, and we're going to take a look. Oh, and it's also September 17th, 2017. We're going to take a look at the S&P 500 chart, see what happened this past week, and see if there's anything that can give us a clue as to what might happen in the short and intermediate term for this market. Before we look into it, I need to remind you, as always, that the website and the video are for educational purposes only. Nothing stated at the site or in this video is intended to be used as investment advice. I can draw lines on charts, but you have to draw your own conclusions from your own research and make investment decisions that are suitable for your personal financial situation. I am not a licensed financial professional, just a guy who draws lines on charts. So let's take a look. Okay, we had an up week. We closed very, very near the highs of the week. That alone would tell most people to expect this next week to also be at least at some point green, because you typically, if you close near the top of a candle on a daily or a weekly chart, and then you start your next time frame of trading, that shows you closed and there was still some steam powering things upwards. So that's sort of the way it looks. When we came into this week, you remember we talked last weekend about this little pattern right here that was a little bit funky, but I posed two ideas. A, that the last 3 days, the 6th, 7th, and 8th of the previous week, were a flag that would result in a move upwards, and that was my predisposition. Because that's the way it looked. And even though it was mostly based on a hunch, that is what happened. Additionally, we were talking about the possibility of an inverted head and shoulders pattern, and if you look at this, it is on almost a perfectly symmetrical inverted head and shoulders pattern, though I caution you, we are not yet 1% over the neckline. Okay, it looks like 2,500 may be putting up a little bit of a psychological fight. But the target of this pattern, once we do get a 1% margin above this line, is about 2,540. So we still got a little ways to go before we get there, about 1% and 2/3. Now, as we look at this chart, by the way, I want to say another thing is I'm doing some changes at the website. I finally told Easy CGI to take a long walk on a short pier, and they are still dragging their feet on getting some very basic things accomplished with my site, which is why SP500chart.com currently goes to a landing page for one of their servers somewhere. It doesn't even direct to my site, so they've got that totally screwed up. I'm hoping this week they finally get that directing to the new site, which is at this point in time still sort of experimental, so just bear with it for a while. I will be emailing the videos out to subscribers, and I'm going to be posting today's weekly review to YouTube and making it public. So I probably ought to start doing that anyway. But anyway, that aside, here's the deal. In long and short, we can look at this past week and we can say that the previous week was the formation of the right shoulder in this inverted head and shoulders pattern, and then the entire week last week was the process of breaking out over that line, but still not by a 1% margin. I really want to see that 1%. The breakout started to happen at about 24.82. If we add 25 to that, then we should say that about 25.07 is where we reach that 1% margin. Astute observers will also notice that by the time we get to 25.07, we're almost 50% of the way to the target. That is a sad reality with some of these smaller patterns. By the time you can really confirm them, they've pretty much used up a lot of their target so they don't become as tradable as you might like. So it looks like this whole slide from late July, August was a bull flag, and we're now in the process of getting up and over that range. And like I said, the previous high in the S&P was 2490, and you'll see on Tuesday we gapped over that and we stayed over that for 4 days. So that sort of tells me, I think, unless we get some kind of strange island reversal here, that tells me that the market knows that it wants to be here and it's not bashful about mounting this attack on 2500. So, guys, I don't really have that much more to say, because we really, after we gapped up on Monday, we spent Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday sort of just going almost trading within, well, what's the high? 2500 and 2490. Traded 4 days within less than 0.5% of variation Tuesday through Friday. So if this is another bull flag, then look for immediate buying pressure starting this week. But I've got I have no lock on that idea whatsoever. I don't have anything that tells me for sure that's what we're going to get, because we've really, truly just gone sideways. Some people might say, well, could this be perhaps just an exhausted move here that we're trying to get over 2500, but there's just too many sellers at 2500? That's possible. But if that is the case, then we see where we might get picked up if it is at this neckline. In other words, if we do see some selling pressure, but we do not get underneath our neckline at any point this week, then that inverted head and shoulders pattern should be viewed as extremely healthy and likely to perform as expected. So guys, if we get up over this line right here, then I think we probably try to get up to 2520, and then eventually, not saying right away, but at that point we would call our target of 2540. I'm not calling that until we break over 2500 and we get a close over 2507, at which point I would say we now can expect 2540. So guys, it's short and sweet this week. And I just want to thank you for your patience, and thank you to those of you who contacted me and encouraged me to try something else with a different service. So basically, I'm setting up a Wix site. Those are very easy to edit, very easy to set up, and hopefully we'll get SP500. We'll get that domain name pointed to it in the days ahead. I am traveling a little bit this week, so be patient. It's going to be coming from a hotel room, and we all know that some of them work, some of them don't. So we'll just see how that goes. That will only affect Monday, however. Tuesday I'll be back, and so it's just Monday. Things might be a little bit dicey. But look, guys, thanks for taking time out of your weekend to watch this. And as always, thank you for your very, very kind support. Take care.